Hello, my wonderful friends, and it's time once again for another fantastical Neckbeard story. This is from Reddit user Roku. It's space, so I said it like that. I don't. This is the Memoirs of a Beard Magnet. Chapter 1. The Hills Have Beards. This is going to be really interesting, isn't it? Hi, Moonhorse. Hello. I'm new to your YouTube channel and this subreddit, but I've been a devoted fan from the very first click onward. Well, I'm glad you're here, and thank you for sharing your story with us. It's not just because of the stories or the amazing laughs, but also for your compassion towards the people trying to make sense of their experiences at the hands of beard monsters, and your understanding towards some of the beards who are themselves just awkward and ill-equipped for dealing with the world. I mean, I do my best. Your afterwards on some of the more difficult stories brought back memories of damages in the kind of way that lets it finally start to get better. I mean, I do what I can to help out. Sometimes I just talk about what happened, but I want you guys to know that, you're all important. You all matter. I love you all very much. That's the reason why I say it in every video. And I hope that I can help in some way. So, I started grade school younger than most of the kids, and was the smallest girl in class at a very rural, tiny school. It was next to a river that flooded the school grounds from the swampy woods in the back. We were never supposed to go back there, so of course we went there at every opportunity, but that wasn't the scariest place by a long shot. The biggest girl, tall, blonde, blue eyes, and pretty in a thick-boned way, let's call her Helga. Of course, we were destined to be best friends. Like some kind of Beyond Thunderdome Master Blaster team. You have no idea how happy it made me that you know this. Who run Bartertown? She would literally pick me up under her arm and run with me if trouble approached. There was a weird sour milk and urine smell about her, but I didn't let it bother me much. I loved my giant friend with all my anemic, asthmatic heart, and she thought of me as her sickly possible Asperger's shrimp girl. You have a wonderful way with words. When I was old enough to be allowed to walk to school in the 4th grade, a mile through the woods, along the edge of the swampy lake where the occasional bear or mountain lion tracks were seen in the snow, I said rural, right? No, more like a wilderness area. Anyway, I found my way to my friend's house for the first time to walk with her to school. I thought I saw then why my parents had not let me go there before. The unpainted shack's cracked front door barely hung on by sagging hinges over wobbly steps, like it wanted to get off of the house and escape. It was letting in drafts and letting out that weird rank smell. I knocked, and the door opened into a black hole. I stared inside until my eyes adjusted, and I saw the mother of the house sitting across the tiny main room like a queen rat in the rotting fabric throne of an overstuffed chair, her fat spilling from her cotton dress, a terrifying Ozark madwoman look on her face. Of course, I went inside. Helga came out of a dark doorway where warm, humid waves of disquieting human funk swam out into my undulated nostrils. You do have a way with words. It was the kids' room. All of the kids shared one room, and 2 beds. All 6 of them. They slept in there. Only 4 were toilet trained. The youngest children didn't always have diapers, so they would just pee on the bare mattress repeatedly, as the older kids tried their best to stay out of the years of urine spreading into the fabric. The youngest 2 children had perpetual gray grime around their mouth and snot streaks on their upper lip. Ew. And I only saw clothing on them occasionally. They usually ran around the house naked and grubby. Under it all, they were adorable little cherubs with ringlet hair who were grateful and happy when I visited them, and I got to be the cool friend of the big sister who was nice to them. The windows were all mostly covered in yellowed paper from some bygone era, or it might have been some stretched human skin for all I could tell. But it was greasy looking and flaky. The door had some kind of pattern on the linoleum beneath the gray-black caked grunge, but the color was a mystery. The one time I saw it revealed briefly in later years was when one of the girls cut her foot on a rusty saw blade in the lake and ran home and bled on the front of the dad chair, and one of the dogs licked it up, revealing a swatch of tan speckled flooring underneath. Jeez. It added an interesting decorative dimension when the dad would sit in the chair on weekends with a switch off the tree and swat his kids when they ran past just in case they had done something wrong. Helga also informed me privately that he, like all men, liked to watch women comb their long hair because tangles hurt them, and women deserve pain because they're all whores who should be punished. Oh, he sounds like a real fucking charmer. Starting to get angry. Starting to feel it. So back to the tour of the house. There was a small kitchen with a working sink, but no hot water, and a stove that looked like it was from the Great Depression. A kettle of plain cornmeal mush with a pinch of salt was bubbling on the stove. Helga's job before going to school was to feed the younger children, and she did so by pouring the mush into a cake pan while the kids gathered around grabbing spoons or just using hands and gobbling the plain mush out of the pan like starving puppies. This place sounds terrifying. Speaking of puppies, I mentioned there were dogs. The dogs lived outside most of the time, and somehow they all seemed fairly healthy, but they had developed the strangest habit I've ever seen. When we walked out the back door through the dark covered porch full of stuff, came out into the light, 3 of the male dogs were lying around. I'm not going to finish that. Let's just say it's not something you should see. Did this all scare me off? No, I was a blithe little airhead, just happy to spend time with my friend and got to know other people who were different from my own family, who talked about Jesus a lot. My parents had put a very strict limit on the amount of time I could visit there, made me promise never to go there without Helga. I realized later my parents wanted to protect me from thinking badly of my best friend's family, but I wish they had just told me. I later discovered that the youngest child, who was passed off as the Big Mom's baby, was actually the daughter of Helga's older half-sister and the dad. Oh my god. It's not my intention to write about them to mock them, but to understand their complex phenomenon through storytelling of my perceptions at the time. This was my first experience witnessing the kind of self-loathing and depression that would let a woman accept what happened to her daughter and let herself sink into the darkness both emotionally and physically. No one around the area wanted anything to do with them, and that made me care about them even more. These people were something beyond mere beards. I think that growing up with that level of beardery made me blind and numb to future neckbeards, which I'll write about more later. P.S. The oldest daughter eventually got away from there and got her child to a safe place in a beautiful resort town. I wish them well. That's a lot to unpack. That, wow. I mean, wow. You definitely have an interesting way with words, that's for damn true, but, whew, I wish I could say that the kind of horrors you described are the kind of things that you only hear about once in a lifetime, but, no, around here I've seen that kind of stuff a lot. Maybe not to that exact level, but I have definitely seen the houses that are like that. This screams of just extreme poverty and horrible, horrible psychological problems. Just the inability to care to that level is not... It's not a lack of, empathy or trying. It is the result of absolutely horrible depression. And the way that you described the mother, yeah, big time. Especially considering what was going on around her. This is someone who has been in a emotionally, mentally, possibly physically abusive relationship to a point that this is just life to her. It's not a life she enjoys, obviously, and it's not a life she's happy about, but it's literally resignation to the point of, this is all I have. And, there's no way out. And that is just fucking tragic. I mean, Jesus, those kids and everything, just everything horrible there. I hope they're okay. I really do. That's horrifying and just so sad. Man, I really hope that, this story has more happier parts when it comes to this family, but I don't know that, and given the history that I have with stuff like this and things that I've seen like this, I don't hold out a huge amount of hope. But jeez, man, that's yeah, No, I totally recognize that. Living in the middle of nowhere, rural towns, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, it's sadly not completely uncommon. If I can put it in any way, you would hope it is. You would, if you're the praying type, you would pray it is. But no, sadly that is not completely uncommon. Sadly, it does happen. I mean, fuck, those poor kids, those poor people. I really hope your friend Helga got out of there better, too. You know? That just a better life. Everything. But, wow, dude. Just wow. I mean, I don't even know how to end this. I think we're just going to stop. But thanks for being here, everybody. Wow. I love you all so very much. And seriously, just take care of each other. Be careful out there. The world is going to... can be a fucking horrifying place. But know that you're always loved and that you're always cared for. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.